Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex Jahans, and I think if there's a trend to go by, something to be noticed between my videos in real life, it is that when I am wearing my dressing gown, the video is rushed and I am in the mood not to give a shit. I have finished watching Farscape. Farscape Series 1 to 3. I will review the mini-series at a later date when I can get over the fact that, 3 hours is apparently worth the same monetarily as 2 entire series of Farscape, which is a damn sight more than that. I've already seen the Farscape Peacekeeper Wars miniseries. I watched it as a kid, just kind of binged it late at night when it was on Channel 5. And I think that's the only time I've ever watched and liked anything on Channel 5. So I know how Farscape properly ends, right? For me, I was watching Farscape because I wanted to learn about world building, because I've been watching a lot of SF Debris stuff, and I've got Babylon 5 as well, which once I finish I will do a similar reaction video. But I've been watching these programs to help me get better at world building from watching them, because these are shows that have got sci-fi shows that have got a good strong cult following, and they have done so by getting better over time, building a good strong folklore in. And I love Farscape. It is brilliant and tremendous, and actually, funnily enough, convinced me to A, start doing weightlifting, B, get a diet, and C, question my sexuality. It's a good, powerful show. And yet, on the basis of the actual writing, which is what I am judging, what I have learned is that Farscape's skill with its world building is its amazing and blatant ability to retcon like a bitch and pull it off with style, as I evidently lack. Because Farscape is a very metatextual show. What that means is it has jokes and gags, it's very self-aware, it's very self-referential, but at the same time, it's got serious character growth and serious character perspective. So, John Crichton has seen sci-fi. He knows the tropes that are being used. But the thing is, because this is real life, things go badly, things go wrong, and because it's his life and the lives of his friends on the line, it's maybe a bit of black comedy, but it's not the focus, it doesn't demean anything. It's not winking at the fourth wall. It's sort of going, oh, so those things I grew up with as a kid were full of bullshit. It's kind of, it doesn't go too far, because the fourth wall nods are made, but they are made from within the context of a gripping story with characters and whatever. And the thing about Farscape is that it survives on not having an arc, which is very weird, because it does have an arc, because it has big bads chasing them and stuff. But this is where Stephen Moffat fails. Okay. And I know a review of Farscape and about me, what I have learned from this is turning into a criticism of Stephen Moffat, but it's just that, well, look at my shirt, yeah? I'm a Doctor Who fan. I'm forever making protests that I'm not technically, actually obsessed with Doctor Who, even though I have spent thousands of pounds and travelled across to LA to attend the Doctor Who convention in the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, but I'm not obsessed. So when I compare Farscape to Doctor Who, that is because they are both shows that matter to me. And in fact, I saw Ben Browder at the first convention I went to in Gallifrey 1. Didn't manage to get his autograph, unfortunately, but I will! I will! The thing is that Farscape is a show that gradually gets darker, okay? And it has mimetic badass status that builds. It's a show that's got kind of the messianic tropes. It is a show that's got series-long arcs that are complicated and convoluted with big villains, and it's also got shipping arguments and stuff, and, you know, to the point where things are noted in universe, and like the main character has died and been brought back, and there are a lot of stylistic similarities between Doctor Who and Farscape, particularly in the Moffat era. Especially with the whole clone thing, right? But here's the thing, right? Stephen Moffat shows focus on a story arc that's going through the series, tying together in odd and strange ways, and as a result, the individual stories suffer from it, right? Whereas Farscape is much more generic, okay? But that's the strength, because while it's going off having these grand, dark stories where lots of emotional heft happens, and while it's also having these mad, random stories which make no sense scientifically, it ties it together by a formula of storytelling, by the fact that you have the setup episode at the beginning of the series, and then you have some light episodes that get into building the story arc for this season, and then you have briefer random episodes where random stuff happens, and then it's more of the plot arc, and then it's random episodes, and then it's a big sterling story arc episode or series or mini-series of episodes, and then it ends with a cliffhanger into the next season, and so it continues. Whereas with Doctor Who, the story arc and the individual story elements don't have an order to them. It's chaotic, it's mad, it's random. Even in Series 6, the most archy story there is, how much an episode was connected to it changes, and it never settles into a comfortable rhythm. And I'm not saying that, especially Doctor Who, which has survived so long by changing, I'm not saying that it must stay the same to succeed. I'm saying that you can change the characters, you can have different characters, you can have different conflicts, you can have different tones. But there needs to be a certain rhythm to how the stories are told, particularly for a season. And that is what Farscape has down. It is a comfortable, enjoyable rhythm. Okay, each series ends with a gut punch and it's just like, I need to see the next series! But that's good, because then the next series rolls around and you watch it and you're, yes, this is good. This is good. And then you're back into rhythm. That is the thing I think I have to admire Farscape for, is the rhythm. It's comedic, it's dramatic, its tone shifts wildly, it can tell a great multitude of stories, and it can retcon like a boss. Just throwing ideas in on a whim and then going, but really, no, secretly, this is all part of the grand plan, and ooh, yes, grand reveal-y, and then that's gonna be carried forth and properly explained through a mini-series that will happen, and you will have the characters thinking on that, and the rhythm helps with the peaks and troughs and whatever. It's because it does do retcons, like Scorpius. He was supposed to be gone by the end of the series. Okay, the neural clone. Okay, was complete by accident. Was just, hang on, in this one episode, Crichton hallucinates a version of Scorpius. What if that was actually plan, retcon? And they do it brilliantly. And it's a quote from the 10th Doctor in The Rise of the Cybermen. Yeah, but they do it brilliantly. And in Farscape, they genuinely do. Doctor Who doesn't. And to be honest, I think this is why I have not been liking Doctor Who as much lately, because I don't think Moffat's writing has actually changed. I think it's just that I've been watching an awful lot of Farscape, and it's done so much better, because apart from anything else, because Farscape has this rhythm of tying up, introducing from last season, introducing the themes and the arc, and then mad random episodes where, even in series 4, you have a planet of lava people. You have people being shrunken down to a small size, and yet at the same time, this is in amidst a story where Crichton actually returns home to Earth and realizes, you know what, I can't stay. And this is amazing. This is what if? I mean, it's the perennial curse of any kind of established plot-focused shows, even How I Met Your Mother. He said, you found out by series 4, oh yeah, this is How I Met Your Mother. But now we're just gonna tell stories from around the time because, hey, it's fun. And yeah, okay, Crichton goes home to Earth in series 4, and it's cancelled, and it ends in series 4, but it very much ends on a cliffhanger to suggest, no, it wasn't meant to end this season. So it's like if Star Trek Voyager, if Voyager had actually just asked you, can we go home now? Been allowed to go home, and then been told, actually, can you go back there, armed with all this knowledge about how to fight the Borg and a better warship, and just kick their asses, please? I mean, 'cause that is what happens. It is that Crichton becomes suddenly like empowered with the superpower of wormhole knowledge, and he's got a reputation, which means people will leave him alone and stuff, and so he can do some serious good. And so it is literally like he goes home and goes, "Nope, I have a job to do. I have to protect the Earth by fighting these evil villains." And 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 it's truly an amazing feat of storytelling in that it isn't held back, and because it's got these weird offshoot episodes every season where just fuck balls happens, you know, screw logic. This is the plot of the episode because it's aliens and blah. Then it means that in the more serious episodes, when there is a moment that kind of is a bit ridiculous, you let it fly because, hey, all this other crazy shit happened in other episodes, so why are we complaining now? Mind you, the hey, all this crazy shit happened earlier, why are we complaining now argument could be used an awful lot with regards to Doctor Who. Yes, an awful lot. I really wish there was a lot more Farscape than there is. And I know there is the Peacekeeper miniseries, and I know that there are the comics, but as I have said, the Peacekeeper miniseries is pricey, and the comics are in a format I don't particularly enjoy. Kind of, I would prefer to just have audiobooks that I could get like in bulk, you know, just say, or order the first 6 audiobooks of a series. But alas, I don't think that's happened. Although I would be very tempted to try and help make that happen because, hey, I'm a fanficker. It really is brilliant. It really truly is, and I am gonna have to probably go through, have a more structured, like, series by series episode at some point, or whatever. There has to be more I can do with this and stuff, but this is just my initial reaction to it. And yeah, the rhythm is the best thing I think about Farscape. The rhythm in its storytelling and how it can be completely balls to the wall fantasy, no science here, this is just pulp, and at the same time it can be hard-ish sci-fi focusing on the characters and be quite dark at the same time. It's brilliant.